There is a lesson most kind people learn too late. Not everyone who asks for your help deserves it. This is not cruelty. It is not selfishness. It is one of the most important distinctions the Stoics ever made. And it is one that most people, driven by guilt, by the need to be liked, or by a genuine desire to do good, consistently fail to make. Because here is the truth that took Marcus Aurelius years of governance to fully understand. Helping the wrong person is not generosity, it is waste, and in some cases, it is actively harmful to you, to others, and even to the person you are trying to help. Seneca wrote that we must be careful about where we direct our energy, because energy given to those who will misuse it is energy taken from those who would have used it well. In this video, I'm going to share with you 9 types of people the Stoics believed you should never help. Not because these people do not matter, but because the kind of help they need is not something you are capable of giving them. Write in the comments right now, I protect my energy wisely. Make that commitment before this video ends. Type 1. The person who does not want to change. This is the most important distinction in all of Stoic philosophy on the subject of helping others. There is a difference between someone who is struggling and someone who has chosen their struggle, between someone who wants to find a way forward and someone who has decided, consciously or not, that staying where they are is preferable to the discomfort of changing. Epictetus was direct about this. He said that you cannot teach a person who does not want to learn. You cannot help a person who does not want to change, and the attempt to do so does not help them. It only exhausts you. You will recognize this person by one consistent pattern. No matter what advice you give, no matter what resources you offer, no matter how much time and energy you invest, nothing changes. The situation resets. The same problems return. The same conversations repeat. This is not a reflection of your effort or your care, it is a reflection of their readiness, and readiness is something that cannot be given. It can only be found. Offer your support once, clearly, without attachment to whether it is taken, and then release the outcome. Type 2. The person who uses your help to avoid responsibility. There is a kind of help that looks like kindness, but functions as an obstacle. When you consistently rescue someone from the consequences of their own choices, when you solve the problems that their decisions created, when you absorb the impact of their behavior so they never have to feel it themselves, you are not helping them. You are helping them avoid the one teacher that could actually reach them. Consequences. Marcus Aurelius wrote that every person must be allowed to experience the results of their own choices, because it is through those results that character is built. When you remove those results consistently, you remove the building material. The person who always has someone to rescue them never develops the capacity to rescue themselves. And the kindness that created that dynamic is, in the end, one of the most unkind things you could have done for them. Help once. Help clearly. Help without making yourself permanently responsible for their outcomes. And then step back and let the natural order do its work. Type 3. The person who takes without gratitude. Gratitude, to the Stoics, was not simply a courtesy, it was a signal of character. The person who receives help and feels no gratitude, who takes what is offered as if it were owed, who moves on without acknowledgement or appreciation, is showing you something important about how they see the world and their place in it. They see other people as resources, as means to their ends, not as human beings who are choosing, at a cost to themselves, to give something of value. Seneca wrote extensively about the nature of gifts and gratitude. He believed that the relationship between giver and receiver was one of the most revealing relationships in human life, because how someone receives a gift tells you everything about their character. When you help someone who takes without gratitude and then return to help them again, you are teaching them that this behavior has no cost, that your generosity is unconditional regardless of how they treat it. You deserve to give your help to people who value it. That is not arrogance, it is wisdom. Type 4. The person who turns your help against you. This is the one that cuts deepest because it requires trust before it can happen. You help someone, you share something of yourself, your resources, your knowledge, your connections, your vulnerability, and they use what you gave them not to build themselves up, but to pull you down. They share what you told them in confidence. They use the access you gave them to undermine you. They take what you offered in good faith and find a way to weaponize it. The Stoics understood this pattern completely. They called it ingratitude in its most dangerous form. And they believed that the person who responds to genuine help with betrayal has revealed something about their character that cannot be unseen. Marcus Aurelius did not advocate for bitterness or revenge in these situations. He advocated for clarity, for seeing the person as they actually are, not as you hoped they would be, and adjusting your behavior accordingly. You can forgive someone and still never give them access to you again. In fact, sometimes that is exactly what wisdom requires. Type 5. The person who is addicted to their suffering. This is a difficult one to name because it can look so much like genuine pain, and genuine pain deserves genuine compassion. The Stoics were not cold to suffering. They understood it intimately. But there is a difference between a person who is in pain and working to move through it, and a person who has made their pain their identity, who derives meaning, connection, and attention from their suffering. Who, when offered a genuine path forward, finds reasons why it will not work. The second person is not someone you can help, not because their pain is not real. It often is, but because the help they are asking for is not help toward healing. It is help towards staying in the place they have chosen. Epictetus, who had known genuine suffering, was clear about this distinction. He said that we must distinguish between a person who is carrying a burden and a person who is holding onto one, because the help required is completely different. You cannot carry someone who has decided to sit down, and the attempt will only put you on the ground beside them. Type 6. The person who constantly creates chaos. Every environment has someone like this, someone for whom drama is not an occasional occurrence but a permanent climate, someone whose life is in constant crisis, always urgent, always requiring immediate response, always pulling the people around them into the chaos they generate. The Stoics recognize this pattern as one of the most energy-draining dynamics a person can be caught in, because chaos, once you engage with it, has a way of expanding to fill all available space. Seneca wrote that we become what we repeatedly expose ourselves to. And the person who's constantly surrounded by chaos, who's perpetually called into someone else's crisis, does not emerge from that unchanged. You can feel compassion for the person who lives in chaos without making yourself responsible for solving it. You can acknowledge their difficulty without volunteering yourself as the permanent solution. Offer what is genuinely helpful once, and then protect the calm you have worked to build in your own life. Because your peace is not a luxury, it is a resource, and resources that are depleted cannot be replenished in the middle of someone else's storm. Type 7. The person who only appears when they need something. You know this person. They are absent when life is ordinary, when there is nothing to gain, nothing to need, nothing to extract from your presence. But the moment something is required, the moment a favor is needed, a connection to be made, a problem to be solved, they reappear with warmth and familiarity as if no time has passed. Marcus Aurelius called these people fair-weather friends, and he considered them among the most important people to identify clearly in your life, not out of cynicism, out of accuracy, because the person who only shows up when they need something is not a friend, they are a customer. And treating a customer like a friend, giving them the access and the vulnerability and the unconditional support that genuine friendship deserves, is a category error that will cost you. Be warm, be civil, but be clear about what this relationship actually is, and protect your deepest resources for the people who show up on the ordinary days. Those are the ones who have earned them. Type 8. The person who resents you for helping them. This one is perhaps the most counterintuitive of all. There are people for whom receiving help is not a relief, it is a wound to their pride, a confirmation of their dependence, a reminder of something they feel they should have been able to handle themselves, and rather than processing that wound internally, they direct it outward, at you, the person who helped them. They become cold after you assist them. Critical. They find fault with how you helped, when you helped, why you helped. They minimize what you did or reframe it in a way that removes its value. This is not about you. It is about their relationship with their own vulnerability, but it will be aimed at you. And the longer you remain available to this dynamic, the more of your goodwill will be consumed by it. Epictetus taught that we must observe the actual effects of our actions, not just our intentions. When helping someone consistently produces resentment, the Stoic conclusion is clear. This help is not helping. It is creating harm. And wisdom requires you to stop. Type 9. The person who has already decided their outcome. This is the final type, and in some ways, the most important. There are people who have already decided what is going to happen, who have concluded with a certainty that no evidence can penetrate, that things will not work out, that they are too far gone, that it is too late, that nothing will change. They may not say this directly, but it shows in how they receive every suggestion, in how they find the flaw in every solution, in how they dismiss every possibility before it has had a chance to prove itself. The Stoics called this a failure of will, not of intelligence, not of circumstance, but of the fundamental choice to remain open to what is possible. And here is the difficult truth. You cannot want someone's future more than they want it themselves. You can offer your belief in them. You can share your perspective. You can point toward what you see as possible. But if they have closed the door on their own potential, your pushing against it from the outside will not open it. Only they can do that from the inside. This is not a reason to give up on people. It is a reason to give up on the belief that your help alone can save them. It cannot. And the sooner you accept that, the more wisely you will direct the genuine goodness you have to offer. Protect your energy, not because you are selfish, but because you are finite. Your time, your attention, your care, your resources, these are not unlimited. Every moment you spend giving them to someone who cannot use them is a moment you are not giving them to someone who can. The Stoics were not cold. Marcus Aurelius governed millions with genuine concern for their well-being. Seneca gave enormous resources to the people around him. Epictetus taught freely for decades, but they were wise. They knew where their energy would produce growth and where it would be consumed without return. Be generous, be genuinely kind, but be wise about where your generosity goes. That is the ViaStoica, the Stoic path. And it begins with understanding that protecting your energy is not the opposite of love. It is one of love's highest expressions. If this video gave you clarity you needed, subscribe to ViaStoica. Every week, ancient wisdom for the decisions that actually shape your life. Write in the comments which of these 9 types you recognized in someone around you. I read every single one. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, 2,000 years ago. Still true today. See you on the path.